I'm having some 6-7 minutes. Vaya ki yishalcha bincha. If your son will ask you, there was a mishpacha, a family that migrated from Russia. They moved from Russia, and their son was enrolled in the yeshiva, and he was advancing nicely. He was learning Chumash, he was learning Mishnah, he was gaining all the time. He was growing and learning, steiging. And then one day, he came to yeshiva, came to Cheder, and he told his Rebbe that every Shabbos, every Shabbos, in the family car, the father takes the whole family somewhere in the car for a ride, and he goes with them. So he wanted to know what he should do. So the first thought, the musculation, the first thought was that here he's slowly gaining and growing in Yiddishkeit, and if he makes too much chaos, makes too much people at home, some sort of revolution, revolts, he doesn't want to be part of the family. They all get in the car and go, and he won't go. So they'll say, if that's where it's leading to, so who wants to have any part of it? So they might very well, danger might be they'll take him out of the yeshiva altogether, and that'll be the end of his spiritual growth, of his growing in Torah and Mitzvah, becoming Shemer Torah, Shemer Mitzvah, Yirei Shemayim. We went to ask the Meir what to do exactly. So the dilemma that if this will stop him from going to yeshiva, maybe he should continue. Then again, to Shaila B'Lifnei Iver. So they told him that they have to tell, with the child, they have to be truthful. They have to tell the child that first they thought also, being he's not driving the car, he's only getting in the car, somebody else is driving. So, being that this way he'll continue to go to yeshiva instead of fighting him out, just the fact he gets in the car and his father's driving, maybe he should let us remain that way. But my Rebbe told him, he said, no. He said, you have to be truthful with the child. You have to explain that even to get into the car, somebody else is driving. He also shouldn't go in the car on Shabbos. And he should tell his father that he's learning yeshiva and he can't get into a car on Shabbos and drive. And but if his father wants to force him to go, he shouldn't resist, because he won't be successful in withstanding any pressure from his father. At most, he should maybe cry and beg. That's the only tactic he could use, would be to plead with his father with tears and cry and beg that he shouldn't force him to go into the car. There was in Yeshiva in Elizabeth, there was a Rebbe used to, every Thursday would be somewhat of a mishmar, and he would then, after the end of the mishmar, learning late, the Rebbe would take the Bachrim home. So one of the Bachrim, the Rebbe said, he told the Rebbe before he gets in the car, the usual route is that you drop me off somewhere in the middle between, and there's still other boys left in the car. Can you do me a favor? I have to talk to you. He says, drop me off the last one, even though it's a little bit out of your way. Something very important, I have to talk to you. So he That's exactly what the Rebbe did. And then, when next to last shower was dropped off, and he was alone in the car, so he carefully took off his jacket, and he showed him all kind of wounds, scars, scabs on his hand. He said, "Oh my goodness," he says, "a label, what is that from?" So he says, Shabbos morning, my mother went to fry an egg and make some kind of delicacy for me. So I told her that it's Shabbos. I can't eat something that's cooked on Shabbos. So she said, "Oh, I went through all that trouble. If you're not going to eat it?" So he said, "I can't. It was cooked on Shabbos." Back and forth, they were raising their voices. Then the father came along. The father said, "What's going on here? What's the problem?" So the mother told him, "I cooked this for me. He doesn't want to eat because it was made on Shabbos." He says, "You're going to eat that. Your mother went through all that trouble. You're going to eat." They said, "I won't." So he started hitting the child and beat him until he made all these scars on his hand. So the Rebbe told him, he said, "Don't be too hasty, don't be too quick. Your father's going to regret what he did. After all, he loves you, he's your father. He realized that he acted a little bit too rashly, he overdid it. He'll come to ask you to forgive him. Don't rush to forgive him. When he comes to you, tell him, in order for you to forgive him, what does he do? Does he ever wear a yarmulke? Does he wear tzitzit? He says no. So he says, tell him if you want him to forgive you, he has to put on a yarmulke. He has to wear a yarmulke. It didn't take long, and the father came over to him and says, "I'm so sorry what I did. I beg you, please forgive me." He said, "I don't know how I did something like that. Broken heart. Please forgive me." So he says, "Well, if you want me to forgive you," he says, "you have to begin to wear yarmulke." A yarmulke? I never wear it in my life. I feel uncomfortable wearing it. It's okay, don't. You want me to forgive you? Back and forth. Finally, the father put on a yarmulke. From the yarmulke, the father started to put on tzitzis also. And slowly he became a Shomer Shabbos also. And then he was stricken with a serious heart condition. He was taken to the hospital, and he said he became a Shomer Torah, he said, but his life is so empty because he never, in his lifetime, merited to learn a Blat Gemara. He's going to leave this world without having learned a Blat Gemara. So whoever came to Talmud Chacham, came to Makar told him, he said, he says, take upon yourself that Hashem will help you. When you come out of the hospital, you're going to, no matter what it takes, you're going to learn a Blat Gemara. What it takes a day, a week, a month, a year. He lived in Elizabeth, and it wasn't far from Staten Island, from Moshe's Yeshiva in Staten Island, First Life. So he went every day, and he picked out a blot that he's going to learn. And slowly he learned a few words, and another few words, another shura, and he was getting help. Not one bocher had the patience to sit and learn with him the whole time. So he kept on going to different bochrim, the yeshiva, different talmidim. They were helping him with that Blat Gemara. It became famous. The yeshiva became famous, that Blat Gemara, as he was working his way through the one Amid, and then started the second Amid. It took him almost a year. It took him 1 full year almost, and then he finally finished the Blat Gemara. When he finished the Blat Gemara, Rabbi Moshe heard about the story. So Moshe said that in Shemayim, the Malachim, there's such a simcha of his Blat Gemara, just like someone made a Siyam Shas. He said, you should make a big Suri, and I myself, I'm going to come to the Suri as well. When Moshe Taki came to the Suri, Moshe spoke at the Suri, and it wasn't long after that after he learned his Blat Gemara, that he left this world. Chanani B'Rakai Shoimer, Rosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zaki says, he saw, at least gave him the Reiches Yomim for that whole year till he finished that Blat Gemara. Chanani B'Rakai Shoimer, Rosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zaki, Mr. Shinama, Anichol is my Sipri Yagis Leviyadir. Gal, Yiskata Shmei Rabo, Yomad Yiroch, Yosef, Nechol, Segat, Rabbi Kalim, Kam Shitay, Amen.